hear the call to adventure, climb aboard or walk the plank. On the high seas, only those with the strength and spirit can survive. What mysteries lie beneath the waves? Treasure? Glory? Time to raise anchor and set sail. These are the tales of the White Springs Revenge.
You return Smoky Slim to the islands after completing your bounty from the last game you were on, which was a month ago or more. For more than a whole month, somebody reached out to you on behalf of Marshall Whitmore. Yeah, I have money now because Marshall has recently become very...
Dear Mr. Smoky Slim, I have acquired great wealth. What is your current rate of hire? Send me an invoice.
So after you deliberated back and forth with Marshall, you also brought this guy with you who's turned out to be very useful, and you know Marshall needs men. So as you return to the islands, a bit of a sail from the mainland from where you are, and there has been this just storm just sitting over the ocean for several weeks. And as you get out to the islands, you realize the storm is centered around the island, and it is just raining nonstop. You haven't seen the sun since you left the mainland, and it's just raining various levels of dribble to deluge.
Interesting. I thought Boop took the sphere.
Yeah, you might assume that. You might assume it's sphere-related. And you guys arrive at Whitmore Cove. Whitmore Cove is a cutout of a small island where a ramshackle city is sort of sprouting up. There are some stone outcroppings with a cannon or two as defenses, and there is a market that is set up. And then a little inland is more of like the sprouting town. And you would disembark from your vessel onto the dock that lands onto the beach, where you would find all sorts of manner of folks in Whitmore's employment, loading ships with mangoes and making trades at the market and continuing to build the commerce at this place. It has a lot more hustle and bustle than the last time it was like that before, but it's like double. Like there's twice as many ships and people and structures.
Marshall Whitmore is doing well for himself.
Yeah, he has definitely made progress in the growth of the island. It is growing. People here sick of the rain. Like everybody here has been wet for a month, hasn't seen the sun, and hasn't been dry. And you can see that's affecting people. We're talking about people who live in a relatively temperate climate on these beautiful islands, and they are now in like Seattle. And as you look around the people, you can see Marshall Whitmore standing there in his full captain's regalia, soaked, giving orders to his people. What do you do?
Pick up those mangoes. Stop slipping on that stone. Ah, Smoky, Mr.
Marshall
Slim.
Whitmore, we meet again.
Welcome back to Whitmore's Cove.
You've been doing well for yourself.
I hope you've been staying out of this wet weather that we've been having. That I had nothing to do with. Nothing at all. Just want to make that clear. By the way, have you ever been to Atlantis? It's quite a place. Don't go there, though.
Whitmore, meet my associate, Darrio.
Pleasure, Mr. Darrio, is it? I assume you're very tall.
A solid 6'4".
Yeah,
And
just
built.
looking up, and you can tell that Marshall Whitmore, he doesn't carry himself like a pirate. He's standing very prim and proper, how a nobleman would. And he's very cordial and professional. And Mr. Darrio, welcome to Whitmore Cove.
Dario is standing the way that like old men stand, holding one of their wrists behind their back. And he's standing looking down at you. And this is one of those times where penetrating eyes is like really descriptive of what you're seeing. Because he does not stick his hand out, but in his eyes, all he sees is a sort of black shroud rising up from you, and that's him recognizing Death's mark on you, which he's not like quick to act on, because he's like, I'm not going to take someone from death. I take the people who have escaped death. And so he just stays staring at you, arms behind his back, notices the death mark on you, and says, very nice to meet you. That's it. And then he just keeps staring at you.
Hand outstretched, just holding there, and I just... Well, right this way. Come make yourselves at home. I've got matters of great importance to discuss. There have been rumors around the island that magical stone have been erupting from beneath the earth and causing quite a bit of mischief on my isle.
Form of a geyser or
a great thunderous
volcanic
clap and that send all the animals scattering for miles. The ones that aren't already wet anyway.
That seems to be a lot of them.
He's
You
letting
believe
me-
that these magical rocks have something to do with the rain?
Possibly. We've heard no such tales of magic rocks before it started raining.
And this rain, it's always like this.
Aye, for about a month now, pouring rain, day after day.
And before the month?
Oh, is it nothing unusual whatsoever?
Aside
Clear
from the
sky.
snow,
Yes, but we know the cause of the snow.
You can
Hey.
spout
Oh, go ahead.
lore or discern realities at any point if you are like trying to understand what the fuck is going on. You
Yeah,
wanna, like,
okay, great. 100% that's what I want to
speculation
do.
about the rain. You can like roll intelligence and spout lore about weird rain phenomenon.
Okay, I will do that. Sprout lore, I just rolled 2d6. Right? Everything is a 2d6 space, right?
Yeah, yep.
So I rolled an 8.
So that's a mixed result. So
Yeah.
on a mixed result, it says, I tell you something interesting. It's up to you to make it useful. Death is part of nature. It's like a very specific part of nature, but you would definitely feel like you're tied into the natural cycle of life in a whole, in a way that you weren't before you were death's ward, let's say. This rain is out of that natural order. Something is influenced. This storm sits here. It doesn't move with the wind. It doesn't follow the season. It sits here and rains on these. And that's really unbalanced out of the natural cycle.
Dario has this exchange with Marshall where he says, "What about before this month?" And Marshall is very clearly like, "I don't know what you're fucking talking about." And he looks up at the rain, and then he looks at Smoky, and then he looks at Marshall. Why are we here, really?
a good question.
Progress.
What is the target?
Expansion. I was just looking for a bit of muscle. Ye don't be above a little bodyguardin'.
Bodyguarding.
This body, with the Elo and Pilo and Bori Bowman out on their fishing trip, it's just me and me men. Our town has not prospered quite enough to be able to forge through the woods full of monsters, yet sail a ship through this storm.
So what are we hunting?
Any matter of creature that were to wish us harm. Can I spout lore about what monsters have been popping out of my mine location? 9.
So there was like a group of people that were out there, and some of them were taken in the night. And the men that came back said they never really got a clean look at what happened, but they described something like a multi-legged creature in the darkness that moved quickly and silently. Something large.
Well, you guys get your lazy butts out there and give me a real field report. And I'll send a reconnaissance, scouting, and discern realities. So I'm just going to send them to the mining location, and I'm going to discern reality.
Okay.
10. As if I were there. What happened recently? What is about to happen? And who's really in control here?
Your scouting party comes back and they tell you they found drag marks from where men were taken in the night, pull them into where they started to cut into the stone to reach where the magic crystals were jutting up. And they followed those tracks to the entrance of the mine. They also found, he shows it to you, pulls out, it's white and sticky and real stretchy. And he's like, I think it's silk or webbing.
Sound familiar to you, Mr. Slim? Have you
Yes.
ever encountered a beast such as this in your many outings?
Yes, this is part of the arachnid group. I've been hoping to hunt one of these for some time now. You got lucky, Whitmore. My price was about to double without a target.
Well, what is ye price, then? Is Dario included?
I'll take care of Darrio. What's a lot of money?
I mean, 100 coin is a lot of money because a health potion is expensive and it costs coin.
Oh.
I don't know. So maybe 200 coin. And that's the most expensive item in the item.
Amenities included. Send me your rider.
500 coin for the death of the arachnid.
Did we confirm that it's an arachnid, or I didn't hear the spout lore roll?
You didn't make a spout low roll. He is deducing based on his experience what he thinks.
Okay, can I spout lore then, given the estimation that I would probably have dealt with demonic monsters and
Right.
underground monsters? Okay. That is a 6.
So you failed. So you get to mark an experience point. And then something bad happened is how that works.
Like at some point in the future or right now?
however the fuck I want it.
Very good. Okay.
So, lots of times I just hand out a little damage. Sometimes I say something foreboding and scare the players. Sometimes it's just like a new obstacle appears in your way. As you're sitting there, you're standing there trying to contemplate what this is. The thunder cracks and the rain goes to full deluge. And it is now fucking pouring.
I told everybody in the cove, no dancing. It might be considered rain dancing.
You know, Captain, that at the side of this deluge that's going to make the trek to the other part of the island where the mine is worse.
There no be waiting out this storm. We need to get over there and establish ourselves before it gets any worse. The storms be stronger day by day. You've got yourself a deal, Smoky Slim. 500 golds it is.
Excellent.
No items.
Speaking of items, did you want to buy anything with your wealth?
Yes, I do. So I'm down 500 gold, which is good. I have 10 gold left, which is enough for antitoxin.
10 gold left? You
Wait.
just agreed to 500?
Yeah.
Well, he gets wealth points, which he can convert into gold. Based on his class as the Baron, he basically gets a built-in economy move that don't exist in the rest of the game.
Gotcha.
So he can generate more coin. He's generated enough coin to like put a down payment on a boat. He's moving money.
Like max roll, I get 30 coins per wealth.
Speaking of boat, did you make a payment last time we played?
I think I just gave it to Smoky Slim.
You did kill Captain Gallo.
Yeah,
so
I did
you
that.
did buy yourself some time.
I sent him a message. We taken care of per our agreement and cut me a little slack. He's the governor. He's cool.
So what are you buying?
Yeah, I converted my income. So I got my poultice and herbs for 7 HP. And then my bandages, and then I bought an antitoxin, which has 3 usage.
Good. Do you have rations?
I do have rations. Well, I have 3 uses left, but I have plenty. You guys need rations? Marshall Whitmore always be feeding his crew with the best mangoes in all the isle. Just some classes don't start with.
Smokey probably needs rations. He expects you to feed.
Yes.
Part of the deal.
Oh, I ignore clumsy?
Yeah, it's because you're
yeah.
wearing heavy armor.
He chose the lighter armor and the adventuring gear. But if you want you want to switch it to heavy armor and just the adventuring.
Oh no, I'd lose the adventuring gear.
That's the trade-off. You can get more armor, or you can have.
Let
less.
Marshall Whitmore buy ye an adventuring gear. I am loaded.
Is that real? Can you do that?
You can
Yeah,
buy
it's only 20 gold. I could do that.
Oh,
I can do that
okay, well then.
with a minimum roll of wealth.
He's got money. It's
I
his
got
character
money.
feature.
Smoky Slim should have charged more.
No, because that was all of my money that I hadn't converted yet.
That was his liquid accents. He took his whole liquid accent.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'll take the black scale armor because I just want it to be like enough to fit under a decorative cloak.
Right.
But yeah, just like a black cloak.
So, did you finish your purchases? Okay. So now it is time to make a perilous journey. You see, Marshall has a group of retainers, 4 guys that get their shit together to leave with you. So it's 4 guys that work for Marshall, and then the 3 of you. When we make a perilous journey, 3 people will need to roll wisdom checks. 1 person has the job of trailblazing, which sets how long does it take us to get there. 1 person has the job of scouting. That says, if we run into trouble, do we see it first? And then 1 person has the job of managing the ration resources. How many extra or less rations did it take for us to get? So who is going to do which job?
I will trailblaze because I know where the location is and have been there before, but it's not easy to get there.
I will do the scouting to see if we see the danger.
You have good wisdom?
No, I have trash wisdom.
Then I will do the scouting.
Okay, so we just don't care about eating.
He's
Yeah.
wealthy, so it does make sense.
Yeah.
Roll those wisdom checks.
Trailblaze.
I got a 9.
I got an 8.
Okay, 2 mixed results and a fail.
You got XP.
You got XP again.
Do I take that XP again?
Well, every time you fail.
You set out from Whitmore Cove. You guys hike from the cove through the little town area away from the cove. This part you could see was once wooded, and what wood is left is burnt, but most of it's been cut down and used as resources. What could be scavenged from what was clearly a massive fire.
Make sure you grab a drink from the Great Ent Cafe.
There is a little mall shopping area here. as this is where the proper town is springing up.
You
actually.
see a scroll running in front of a building, and it shows the great story of how Captain Marshall Whitmore conquered the great tree beast and established Whitmore Plaza.
The last sequence of that is a giant tree on fire. You
Darrio
guys-
looks this one eyebrowing it the whole time.
Magnificent, isn't it? Really captures my essence.
As you're standing here, Dario, looking at this and feeling this place, you can feel that there was once a long life that was here that fell to death. And you get the feeling that is somehow related to this treant story that Captain Whitmore. So you guys head out of here. It's kind of like this part, it's muddy. Everything's just wet. And as you continue deeper into the island with this deluge of rain, it gets increasingly more difficult to move through the terrain. You start to sink. Just the regular dirt is so hydrated that it's becoming like a quicksand. You guys come to this place where it's clearly like a river cutting through the island, but this river is just overflowed. And now it is this large body of water you now must pass, where you're standing in basically quicksand. And as you're trying to get to the edge of this deluge of water, Slim, you look up and you see a creature, long head rear up from what was the deepest part of the river, now this lake area. And it looks prehistoric. Your knowledge of beasts, this is an ancient beast of a forgotten time, some sort of dinosaur-like creature. As you make eye contact with it, it turns its head and stares right at the party.
We finally meet, Nessie.
Okay, I want to use an ability because I took heirloom.
What's the heirloom ability?
You consult the spirits that reside within your signature weapon. They will give you an insight relating to the current situation, and you might ask questions. You may be able to ask questions in return, and it's roll plus charisma.
Okay.
9.
You grab your sword. What do you say to it?
Darrio picks up his sword in the sheath and just whispers to it, "Does death wish for this soul, or shall we leave it be?"
You feel as though someone much larger than you places their hand on your shoulder. Like when you're a child and your father places his hand on your shoulder. It's like a giant. And you know this feeling. This is death, reminding you that you belong to him. And he says, "This being is supposed to have been long dead. Return it to me."
Dario's face sort of like stands up taller, and the hood that he's wearing falls off, and his wavy, slicked back hair, and his eyes are now suddenly much wider open. This is the first time you can kind of tell they're like a deep red color. It looks almost artificial, but it's part of his deal with the devil. His eyes are just glowing a red color, and he unsheathes his weapon and turns to Smoky. "The decision has been made for me."
Without you telling me what the decision was, just knowing you, the hunt is on. And a tumble roll into cover.
You get totally covered in mud when you do that.
Awesome.
Cover is just laying in mud. Like, you can just lay in it. And
Yeah.
you basically, as a gnome, like you're small, so you'll float on top of it, but you do become invisible in the mud.
I'm going to take aim at Nessie. 9. I'll do the one where I
Less
take
damage?
the less damage,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
I need a D4.
you
plus
do
the D4.
1d8, 1d4 plus 1 minus a d6.
Oh, wait. D8 or D10? I thought it
I'm
was
sorry,
D10.
1d10
Yeah.
plus a d4 plus a 1, then we minus a d6.
That's right. Okay, that's why I was rolling 1. Okay. 6 damage.
So what's your weapon look like?
Like a old time rifle, like with cone on the end.
Like blunderbuss?
Yeah.
You all see the gnome just sinking in the mud, and just the barrel of his weapon is protruding, and it lets out a and the spray of shot flies out and hits the creature, and the creature takes it across the face and screams in a large prehistoric roar, and then begins to charge across the body of water quite swiftly towards the party. Marshall, what do you and your retainers do?
What the hell is that? And I'm gonna stand in defense of the quicksand.
All right, roll your defend.
7. 2.
So the beast is going to roll up and just attack whichever one of your retainers is unlucky enough to be standing in the front of the
Forgot we had
party.
all 4 of those guys.
I will take
Half
that, but I will
damage.
deal damage equal to my level. And I'm level 5.
Okay, so you give it another 5 damage as you roll to fight danger.
Yeah, Jeb is just gonna tuck and roll. Tuck and roll.
we're all sitting together. Do we all have to roll to defy, or is it specifically targeting?
It depends what is happening. So some effects will attack everybody, really circumstantial to the narrative.
Copy.
So in this case, the dinosaur is attacking him. Weirdly, his character is him and his retainers, which is a little weird because his character is weird.
We are Legion.
Got it.
What'd you get in that defy danger?
8.
5 damage is the damage it does as well.
Armor to the rescue.
It comes down and Jeb dives out of the way and it misses biting him, but then it whips its head to the side and smacks Jeb into the mud while your next retainer pulls out his sword and stabs it in the neck. And then we're coming back to you guys. What is Darrio doing now that the creature is close the distance?
Dario has unsheathed his blade, and as he unsheathes it, it's surrounded by black shadow, and you can hear whispers emanating from all around you, but you can tell they're sort of from the blade. And he zoned in and is going to use Road to Perdition. So I get to choose one effect from me drawing Unholy Power from my Dark Blade. And it's Don the Visage of Death, terrifying a target you can see as if you cast the Cause Fear spell, as long as you focus your attention on that. Roll plus Charisma.
Cause Fear, it's a cleric spell. Choose a target you can see and a nearby object. The target is afraid of the object so long as you maintain the spell. Their reaction is up to them. Flee, panic, beg, fight. While this spell is ongoing, you cannot target entities with less than animal intelligence. So you pick an object and a target. So the target's obviously the beast.
Can the object be one of Marshall's wards?
Yeah.
Like a piece of clothing he's wearing or something?
Not
exactly,
my
like
lucky hat.
Yeah, let's say Jeb's armor. Roll plus Charisma. On a hit, if you achieve your desired effect, on a 7 to 9, either spend 1 torment or lose HP equal to the higher of the 2 dice rolled. This could cost me if I don't get a hit. Okay. 10. He pulls out his sword, whispers and shit. It's the armor that the colloquial image of death erupts from this guy's armor chest plate.
So the beast pulls back at first, like a cat that's been startled, and it is now focused on Jeb as it is roaring.
I'm gonna run over, cutlass drawn, and I was running in with my men, as I so often do.
So you're making a hack and slash?
I rolled an 8.
Okay, so we trade damage.
I rolled a 1.
I got a 4. So you run up and slash it, and it bites Jeb. And it pulls back, and you see Jeb's arm has been slashed open and is bleeding. What is Slim doing? Because they're all meleeed up. You're sort of probably just behind that, laying in the mud.
So I'm going to shoot it. 10, 11. Shoot it up to 11. 5 damage
5
again.
seems to be the magic number.
Yeah.
You guys hear the of Slim's weapon, again, just sort of blasting out of the mud, and it rakes up against the beast's flesh, and you see it spit as the shot enters its flesh and blood starts to seep. But it is undeterred from its target, Jeb. So defy danger for me as it tries to eat Jeb.
I'm gonna use strength, and I'm gonna try and pry its jaws open. I got an 8.
As it comes down to bite Jeb, you and your other men run over and grab its head, and for a moment you're able to pull it apart, and Jeb kind of gets out from under the teeth. But in the next moment, its whole head whips up, and anybody that's holding onto it gets flung into the air, and your men are all thrown back into the mud, scattered, and they're gonna take 4 damage. You're taking a lot of damage today, Captain.
I be doing battle with death today.
Dario, you've seen you become fixated with Jeb from your spell-like ability. What do you want to do?
It says for as long as I focus my attention on them, can I just have seen them all fly away and break the focus of that Road to Perdition effect and change to a different Road to Perdition effect?
Yeah, you can break it whenever you want.
I will have seen Marshall's men fly all over, and in processing that, will pull the blade back a little bit to break the spell, and I will instead cast Road to Perdition again, but this time using Raven's Feast. I rolled 8. He pulls back the sword and swings it upward, and I don't know, says something cool like "deed." A bunch of Raven-esque shadowy type figures erupt from the sword and move towards the beast.
You guys see Dario do this. He swings his sword, and he's nowhere near, he's not in range of the target, but as the swing ends, these bird-like shapes burst out in black ink and strike the beast.
6 damage.
You call the beast's attention. So it's no longer focused on Jeb and now focused on you. What are the other two doing before the beast attacks Dario?
Meanwhile, Dario is definitely giving a come on!
As it's running over, I'm laying down in the quicksand and like I'm just trying to struggle to get up, and then I see it grab its attention on Dario, and as it comes by, I will take a hack and slash at.
Okay.
Personally, sometimes you gotta do things yourself. 9.
You take 2 damage from the beast. You swing with your cutlass, slashing it, and it's like next to limb, which is just like a flipper, giant flipper, just smacks you down into the mud as it tramples over.
So I prep a bomb and I look to Dario. I say, feed the beast. And I'm holding a bomb ready to act with Dario.
So you're going to act when he acts?
Yes. And hopefully we
Which
can
is funny because
coordinate.
I have a hold of defense that I'm holding for this attack. Maybe we can all do something crazy together.
So
I'm trying to get this bomb down the beast's gullet.
So it's the beast's turn, and it is definitely attacking Dario as he has drawn his attention. You guys look at the beast now. It has buckshot, black ichor, and stab wounds, and it is bleeding a fair amount, and it is crazed, and it rears up its full body, and you see how big it really is. Giant 4 limbs that are flippers slam into the earth as it swings its head down in all its fury at Dario.
I'm gonna deal it 5 damage. I'm like gonna come back up to it and stab it in the butt.
Okay, you run in to stab it as it attacks Dario.
I want to like alley-oop the bomb to Dario.
Okay, well, Dario needs to roll Defy Danger.
Okay. For what it's worth, I also ignore forceful tag. I don't know what that means.
Okay, that's good. That is good on this. This will stop you from getting thrown around like Marshall's men did.
I'm defying danger. Here we go. Can I somehow incorporate the fact that Smokey is like throwing this bomb to me into my defy danger?
If Smokey wants to roll an aid, then yes.
Yeah.
You want to roll aid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that like what Dario wants to do is jump towards the bomb and like catch it and flick it up
Pitch it into the mouth of the creature.
Into the mouth of the creature, yeah. So
okay,
for what that's
sounds
worth,
like Dex to me.
Okay, well I just rolled a 10. Yeah.
So that's a success, no matter if what you roll. You throw him the bomb and you run back, Dario, towards it, grab it and huck it up into the beast's face as it comes down to bite you, and its mouth is open and the bomb goes into its gullet. Oh, you're bomb damage.
Actually, less than my gun. 7 damage.
Well, that's enough. So you throw it up and it goes into the beast's mouth and explodes, and you guys see its neck, like behind its head. It has this long neck. It blasts open and the head keeps falling and sinks like an arrowhead into the mud. Boom! And the rest of the giant neck flops to the ground and the creature falls into the mud. Motion. You look around and everybody is, maybe except for Dario, is absolutely covered head to toe in mud. And as Marshall's men are pulling themselves, each other out of the mud. And it is now starting to mix with this creature's blood as you've all been sprayed with its ichor.
I roll in the blood as I get up to take my trophy.
What do you take as a trophy?
Okay, I'm just going to take a tooth then.
I think as Dario sheathes his blade, you see visually what you might describe as the life force of this creature sort of just get vacuumed into the sheath. And that's like how he's sending the soul to death.
Perhaps we make camp. Come on, boys. Prepare me a monster. Find the best cuts.
You want to spend some time here and try to get some rations out of the monster?
I've been thinking of adding like a cooking skill to my retainers. So I'm going to put 1 point in cooking and try to roll for some rations.
Okay.
And I rolled a 6.
One of your men goes to cut it open, and he must have sliced some internal organ that was full of some kind of acidic stuff, and it just gushes out.
Aye, Jeb, what do you be doing?
It destroys the meat, and it gets all over him and like fucks up his armor and burns through some of his clothes, and you get nothing out of it.
God damn it, Jeb. No mangoes for you for the rest of this trip.
He looks at one of the other guys and says, I think all we brought was mango. So your men do the best to like make camp via the trees around here. You can't take a break on the ground. It's just too, like, you sink in the mud and drown because it's, the rain is just so relentless. But your men pull some ropes up into some trees and kind of string them between the branches, and you're all able to climb up in these trees and relax as best you can to make camp. Maybe one tries to make a little bitty fire, but it's pretty pointless in this much rain. So you guys make camp for a little bit. It is a restless sleep if you get any, but you do rest and eat rations and sort of recuperate. And then it is time to continue your journey. And it is still pouring rain. You float across that body of water, but eventually you get to where the terrain starts to become rock, and it's a little easier to travel, and it's slippery here, but you're not sinking into the mud. And you come to where former campsite of Whitmore's people that had been working on the mine that had reported back. And you see, their old fire pit. It's all washed out. A lot of them left without their stuff because they were attacked. So there's like some pitched tents that are just, again, all laid over and washed out. Some basic gear that's covered in mud. And not too far away up the hill, you can see from here the entrance to the mine that has started to be carved into the stone. So you've completed your perilous journey. What would you like to do?
Discern realities about what happened to this campsite and if there are any dead bodies lying around. 10. Well, here's not what it appears to be.
The entrance to your mine is something's home. It's not your mine, it's its home.
I am home. This is my home. This is a principality of Whitmore Cove. What do I see that makes me think that it's something?
The drag marks of the bodies lead that way. And the front of the entrance is something has sort of reinforced the bottom of it to try to stop the water from pouring into the hole, but to run down the hillside. You can see, even from here, rocks and mud has been gathered to help protect this entrance from flooding. And it's not something your men did. It's not shovel marks.
Can I tell how long ago this happened? Because it's been raining a lot.
That part looks maintained. Everything in the camp is way washed out. Those drag marks you can only kind of see right near the entrance, but something is maintaining that entrance to stop it. Yeah, like a little dam wall of mud and rocks. You could easily climb over, but is enough to force the rainwater to run downhill.
I best be on your toes, I suppose you would say, Mr. Slim. The hunt is on.
Indeed. I'm going to roll to track the beasts and realities, I guess. 10.
You want to know where the beast went. You can see it probably is in that cave.
Is there multiple paths, or is it just the one?
There's just the one entrance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's here.
There were no bodies here. You guys investigate this place. Marshall's men spread out. Wherever the bodies were, they've been taken away. And it's all suggestions point towards the cave. They weren't just attacked and ran off and a couple people got killed. They were hunted. They were bagged and claimed. It looks like a hunt, like someone took their prize.
Dario pulls a torch from his bag and lights it. Venture gear, perfect. Okay, good. Starts to kind of shine it on the inside of the edge of the cave so that the rain's not falling on it.
Marshall walks up behind him and shows him his pretty fairy orb and floated up into the cave next to him.
No wonder death wants you. I want to kill you now.
You're having a real investigation moment, and Captain Marshall is just what's going on in here? What are you doing?
You can see Captain Marshall has a small glass orb that he can command to float near him and cast a light. And that is also illuminating the entrance. So with the torchlight and the orb, you see better in here. You can see the drag marks, and there is some blood in the mud, and there is prints of some kind that are circular indents, and they're in a pattern to suggest many legs. And there is also webbing clawed along the inside of the hole attached to the rocks that seems to get thicker as you go into the...
There are many different kinds of arachnid in this family. It's hard to know which one we'll encounter. Evidence shows it is large, though. Will make a great trophy. Onward, gents!
Lead the way, Mr. Slim.
Lead the way, but I'm also going to discern realities again. And I'm going to do where's my best cover? 12. We go through the cave. I'm going to dart from one cover point to another while tracking the beast.
The trick about this cave is that as you get deeper, the cover is covered more and more in this webbing, which tries to stick to you. And it limits your ability to use that cover. As you try to dive into cover and you have to pull your little gnomish body off of this, and you realize if you got into too much of this webbing,
Yeah.
you would immobilize, and it's concerning.
Could I discern reality or spout lore to see what happens when I touch fire to it?
You
I'm
could
ready
just-
to light this whole cave
You
on
could
fire.
just touch fire to it,
Yeah,
or
I'm
a
doing it.
piece of it if you want to.
Yep, I did not put my
Okay.
torch away just because of Marshall's stupid snow globe.
If you raise your torch to it, it does retreat from the heat, burns it off slowly. It doesn't ignite like
Okay.
gasoline, but where it is approached with flame, it does burn. You guys go down the hole, and it becomes more and more covered in this webbing, and you're burning off sections to it, and it starts to come to parts where it branches off in different directions, and you have to choose one of 3 paths, and each path is partly obscured by these webs. Which way would you like to go down these paths?
Wait,
There
how
are
many-
3
how many-
of them.
There are 3 of them.
Last
Okay, well,
time
I-
I saw one of these, we split up.
How did that go?
It could have gone better.
It couldn't have gone better.
Sorry, again, mechanics question. Can I just cast my shit willy nilly? Like, is there no like count?
Do it
Like-
Willy, just not Nilly.
I lift my sword up and hold the sheath blade up. Well, in times like these, I choose to let the dead guide me. And I'm going to roll to use heirloom again, which is like consult with
Okay.
the spirits that reside within your signature weapon. 11.
You reach out with the spirits, and you feel that death come to you again, that feeling of a large hand being placed on your shoulder. And he steers your gaze down the hallway to your left, and you feel his sense reach out. And in there, you feel new life, many smaller new life hatching into them. He reaches down the path to his right, and you sense death, lives that have been taken, that are stored in some way. And you reach forward, and he shows you one present, one dominant.
I think Dario's instinct is actually to go right towards the dead bodies. Turns to Smoky and Marshall. If you want the arachnid now, it's straight ahead. But your comrades are to the right here. And he like pierces over to Marshall.
Best be rallying our forces. I have an oath to protect these lands and all those who may be in it, and if there are men still alive down here, it is my duty to protect.
I don't know if they're still alive.
I've got the deal for an arachnid head.
Well, if they're dead, then they're dead, then there's nothing I can do about it but avenge their spirits.
This is what I'm clear here. Smokey, are you pushing straight ahead?
I wouldn't say pushing, but definitely leaning straight ahead.
If you spent some time with Smokey, you know that he gets singularly focused
Yeah.
on his target. And occasionally you have to be like, okay, but let's make the smart choice and then we'll get the target, because he's a little obsessive
Yes.
about the target.
Okay.
More than a little, honestly.
But it also is why it's kind of dangerous to be his ally.
Trust me 1 second. I just want to try something. And I start pushing towards these dead bodies.
Okay.
Okay.
As you push in here, you burn away the entrance here, and the webbing down this corridor is thickest you've seen it so far. And it's going to be defy danger rolls to move through this. So if you're taking the lead, you need to address these.
Like, how do I defy danger using dex or strength? Because those are my best stats in this case.
Strength is you're just going to muscle through it. You're going to let it cling to
Yeah.
your armor, and you're just going to keep pulling it off the walls and the ground, burn it off you, and keep pushing forward.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Probably making a path for Smokey and the retainers and Marshall to follow.
That is exactly what I will do. That is a big 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we see Darrio push into that chamber. He's burning in front of him, but he just keeps walking. And you see it gets stuck to him, and he just pulls forward. This cavern is slowly getting less webbed, and you guys are able to follow as he is going from black armor to just slowly covered in white. And you see him burning it off himself as it slows him down. But he pulls, and you guys get to where the cave opens up into a bigger chamber, and the light fills the room. And there are spindles of webbing coming down from the ceiling. And at first you're not sure what they are, but then you realize that there are people, and they are hung upside down from the ceiling, covered in web, cooned in web.
Is it clear to us whether they are alive or dead?
You can't tell. You would have to get up there, put them down, or get up to them and then make a check.
Mother of God. Seeing that there might be people in there, Captain Marshall and his men, we start making a human totem pole and
Yeah,
stack
hell yeah.
ourselves up to grab one of the pots.
Is that a strength check?
11.
Jeb squats down and a few other people jump on. You climb up to the top.
I hook my knees into the guy's shoulders below me, yeah, and I cut it open, pull it back, look at their face, and I tell if they're alive or dead.
You'll need to roll wisdom or intelligence. I'll let you roll wisdom or intelligence.
Well, that's dandy because I rolled a 6.
You sliced it open and you're trying to gently do it so you can look out, but it dislodges the person inside and they fall to the ground and they hit the webbing on the ground hard. You feel it when it hits, it like vibrates through all the webbing in the room. This person, you can see after they hit the ground, this person is dead. But then there is a subtle chittering sound from whence you guys came. What do you want to do?
Chittering sound like legs, like walking and like clicking.
Mandibles
Yeah.
gyrating.
We're being hunted.
You doing Foley work?
Darrio walks up to the body and pulls out his sword and plunges his sword through the body. And I'm using another version of Road to Perdition. And I will just roll plus charisma. 7.
Okay.
It says, plunge your blade into the corpse. Its spirit will answer any 3 questions you pose to it, best of the knowledge it had in life and the knowledge it gained.
You're going to spend a torment or are you going to give me some HP?
I will spend the HP. So, stabs the sword in, very obviously winces in pain, 3 and 2.
You take 3 damage. It takes a little bit of life from you to pour it into the person you're reanimating.
That's actually pretty sick. And before the body or soul can say anything, Darrio covers its mouth and gives it the and then just goes, how does the spider attack?
I never saw it. It came in the night, grabbed me straight out of my bed. Before I knew it, I was restrained and I was dragged.
Darrio turns to Marshall with his eyes glowing red and any questions for your dead comrade.
Where'd he keep his plunder? Can we get a treasure map out of this? If he has no cause for adventure, then it is no cause of mine.
Yeah, okay, fine. I turned to the spirit of the corpse again and I said, you yield. Where did you leave it?
We only got some basic samples of the stone before we were attacked. It's probably buried in the mud somewhere outside the cave.
Then finally I look to Smoky.
I don't think it has any information I want because it didn't see it.
Yeah, that wrecked me too. So Darrio, after those 2 questions, just rips the blade out of the body and sheathes it again and starts trying to listen for where the sound is coming from.
Marshall, one of your men is standing furthest away from all this activity of you guys interviewing the dead. And he slowly turns and looks into the darkness of the cave where the chittering was coming from. And a moment later, a spider about the size of a Labrador leaps on his chest. Roll Defy Danger.
Hey, anybody seen Jeb lately?
You got an 8. The spider leaps onto Jeb, and you see it sink its fangs into his flesh. Jeb is now poisoned. Actually, make a constitution roll. Sorry.
11.
Okay, Jeb is not poisoned. Jeb is just going to take some forward. Rolling really good against Captain Whitmore. Yeah, what do you guys do?
I'm going to find cover.
Yeah, I'm going to stand, I'm going to position myself to face this enemy head on.
Okay.
Honorable attacks.
Are you going to attack it?
It was a baby on Jeb?
It was a spider the size of a leopard. Whatever deduction you would like to make from that is yours to make.
I will attack it. Hack and slash, baby.
Is it still on Jeb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeb is screaming for his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. That is a big 9.
9 is we trade damage. Roll your damage.
Okay. What is my damage dice? A D10. Sick. That is 2.
Okay, you swing at it and you maybe do it a little gingerly because you don't want to murder Jeb. You nick it and it runs across the blade and bites into your arm. You take 4 damage. You do get your armor though because it's trying to bite through your arm.
What's my armor right now? 2? So I take 2 damage then effectively.
You take 2 damage. As this happens, another spider about the size of a Labrador comes crawling across the ceiling out of the hallway.
I'm going to shoot it. 9. So I'll take less damage. 5 damage.
So you fire and it rakes the top of the cave, and the spider gets pitted with shot. And then it's Marshall's turn before I do something else.
I'm gonna stand in defense of the thing. 8.
You're standing in defense. The spider on the ceiling is going to drop from the ceiling and try to land on Dario. So, Dario, if you want to make a defy danger.
I will, in fact, make a defy danger to dodge out of the way. No, actually, no. I'm going to make a defy danger to grab this motherfucker and throw him into the ground. I changed my mind. 10.
So as it drops from the ceiling, you grab it, like you said, and just throw it to the side, and you hear it smack against the wall. There's still one like crawling on your sword, and it's going to try to bite you again. So roll defy danger from this other spider.
In order to defy this danger, I will just try and swat it. 10 again.
You cast both the spiders off of it.
As he flings one of those spiders my way, and I'll deal damage equal to my level, so give it 5 damage, and baseball swing as the spider comes my way.
As you do that, you slice through it, and it gets cut, and its abdomen is cut in half, and it falls to the ground, and both of its body parts twitch for a moment, and then it falls.
I never use that move at the lower levels.
It makes sense. Now that you're level 5, like, to be able to deal consistently 5 damage without having to roll it at all, like, that's good. What are you guys doing?
I approach to swing at it as Hack and Slash.
Yeah. Who's going first? Who's hacking? Who's shooting?
No, I want to kill.
Okay, you're going to shoot him before he gets over.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the range attack. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Shooting up to 11. 7, 8, 9 damage.
You blast that one. So the whole of the shot is spreads out and just ventilates the spider, and ooze just liquefies from its body, and it slumps to the ground.
Got to be quicker, Darrio.
Yeah, Dario rolled a 10, so he for sure like still swung his blade as it exploded, and it was just like, just a second late.
So it is calm now at this moment.
No more pitter patter.
Not at this moment. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna discern realities listening for pitter patter. Secure the position!
When Marshall says secure the position, this prompts Dario to cast Road to Perdition, but this time to summon a supernatural darkness into the area. So I want to kind of cover the door, or the entryway.
Which is perfect, because I rolled a 7, so like I go to secure the area, and we're trying to like look around, and it just gets dark, and we can't see anything.
This is actually okay. I rolled an 11. Dario like just clicks his sword out of the sheath enough that a bunch of the darkness just pours out of it and covers the entryway to the room where the 3 different paths were.
So you've covered the entry in darkness. Your men are trying to secure the position, but they're not super successful.
What darkness is this? What magic? What who? Where am I?
The darkness of the dead. This will buy us time.
You speak with the dead. Strange magic.
Worse, I hunt the dead.
Oh, no wonder you're friends with Smoky Slim.
Indeed.
So there are other cocoons of bodies hanging above you. You could venture back out the door. What do you guys want to do?
How many cocoons are there? And are they the same amount as the men that he lost?
There is probably a few other ones that maybe look older, that are maybe a little differently shaped than the one he cut open.
Interesting.
But to know more, you would need to roll.
I'll roll for that. 10.
So the odd-shaped ones are other animals that were caught. Some kind of deer or elk or something.
Okay.
You can discern. Maybe the other one's smaller, like a pig or a boar. You're just going to hope they die.
We're not leaving without my trophy.
Oh, you'll get your trophy. How many more of these arachnids do you think there are? Sure seems like they got a lot of food.
Not as many as I have ammo.
I will cast Heirloom again and hopefully not fail. Here we go. That's a 10. Yeah, Dario, again, half unsheathes his blade and just asks, how many enemies remain?
You feel that feeling again, a hand on your shoulder, and the sense of death reach out past the dead smaller spiders and back to that junction where you were before. And it is quiet in all directions from that junction, except straight ahead. The larger presences stir and agitate.
Yeah, Dario sheathes his blade and turns to Smoky and cracks like a very subtle smile. Your trophy awaits. And that's when I remove the shadow on the entryway.
To glory, gents!
So who's leading the way down the hallway?
Darrio does not lead. He very much is, please pass. Go ahead.
It is
Not-
at my best interest to find this rare stone that my men had heard tale about. The whole reason we started this mine. It's got to be here. There's got to be something worth all of this trouble.
Likely being guarded by a giant spider.
And if that's what it takes to protect my lands, it is what I must do. To arms, men, charge. While we were making camp, you could hear him working on another verse to his great tale about playing the dino monster, the quicksand Nessie, and like how there were some other guys there, but really Captain Whitmore was the one who conquered the beast.
You've heard this song. When he starts humming the melody he's writing to, you know this song because you heard it when you were here last. Everybody on the ships, especially around Whitmore Cove, are always singing this song, and you keep hearing new verses of like clearly embellished tales of like one of them
Savior
is about
of Atlantis.
yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah.
Savior of Atlantis.
Defeater of Graveslammer.
Graveslammer's still alive. That's what
Vanquisher
we're
of
going for.
Captain Gallows.
Gallows did die. That one is true.
Assassin of Charles Dunt.
Yeah, that one's you.
Yeah.
That one, you know the details of that one. You're like, oh, he's taking credit for me killing.
Right,
Charles.
yeah.
And there's several other verses that he didn't write that other people have just added.
About singing
before.
swords and a giant rubber duck.
Singing swords, yeah.
You hear him writing the newest verse.
Oh.
And he charged into darkness. You see that, like, he's writing the song as he's doing the thing.
Who is the guy that Smoky Guild that he's taking credit for?
Charles
Dant.
Dant.
Yeah, for sure Dario looks at Smoky and it's like, I thought you took Dant.
The people who matter know that.
You guys follow the retainers up to the junction again, because this part is clear. And they get to the junction, and it's the same thing as you guys peer into this other chamber, the chamber straight ahead. It is conical, so it chokes down right where you are, but it immediately starts to wedge out into a larger room. And the little bit of that room you can see is, again, covered in web. Like the whole walls have been coated in this web.
I'm going to open with a bomb in front of us.
Tuck it into the darkness.
Yep.
Roll damage.
Just
Yes. So you
Bombs
see.
kind of suck, actually.
Well, the point of the bomb is you can hit multiple people.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it blows shit up like narrative. You see Slim pull out another one of these hand grenades, but like an old-timey bomb about the size of a hand grenade. Fits in his fist, and he lights it, and he hucks it in the darkness. And as it disappears, you see just the sparking end of the fuse as it spins through the air and then explodes, blowing all sorts of material of webbing around, clearing the webbing from it where it landed in front of you. But in the flash, for a moment, you saw her and her giant form hanging from the ceiling. A spider the size of a school bus. Massive. Eyes the size of dinner plates.
You're gonna see Captain Whitmore running heroically into the midst of the spider cave, and as crack of the bomb and the little bits flash and evaporate, he's gonna turn right around, work his way back at the tunnel, and then stand in defense of the opening.
Roll your defend. Marshall has been all retreat back to the entrance and then take up a defensive position.
Dario sees this and it's like, you coward, what about your treasure? And he pulls out his sword and casts Raven's Feast again.
Okay.
Smoky Slim tumbles to the edge of the cave for like cover. Brave Charles Whitmore barrels into battle, turns tails and run at the first sign of battle.
No, don't listen to him. Don't let it catch on.
Okay, well, my Raven's thing was a set.
Okay, so you need to either spend a torment, do less damage, or let me put you in a spot.
I will spend a torment. It's a 6.
So you see Darrio do the move again where he swings his blade and darkness leaps out in the shape of birds that disappears into the cave and strikes at the beast. And you hear it hit. You hear the creature and shudder and shift on the ceiling of the cave. And a moment later, a large spray of white is headed towards the party. Everyone make a defy danger roll.
10.
I am gonna like see the white coming towards me, and I'm gonna swing my sword to try and cut a path through it because I rolled a 7.
Captain,
5.
covered in the webbing, thrown to the ground, and are pinned down or stuck to the ground. Darrio, you slice through it and it clears your upper body, but some of it gets stuck to your legs. And you can only move a short distance in a turn now unless you address this issue. It's your guys' turn.
I lost all my hold and I'm trapped in a spider's web. Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to cut my way out with my shiny, sharp cutlass with strength.
I will do the same.
Ooh, well,
Nice.
11.
Nice. So you guys both cut away the webbing from you. Marshall, you start cutting it away from your men as well. What are you doing?
We shoot it.
Okay.
8. So I will use an ammo.
Okay. So roll your damage.
7.
That's still not bad.
I know, but I rolled a 1 on my
a
big
D10.
damage.
I know,
die.
but you have a pretty good high. You have a pretty high average. Your minimum roll is 4, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I want to do 15.
You fire, and it rakes the top of the cavern with your shot. And again, the room is illuminated from the blast. And you see the creature shift, and it gets hit, and it starts to move down from the ceiling along the wall and towards the party. It gets to the front where Darrio is standing, and you see its huge form start to come out of the darkness, and it just brings one of its giant legs down and tries to stomp you into the ground. Roll Defy Danger.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so it's a mixed result. You're going to take a little bit of damage. Every D4 has been a 4. You take 4 damage. You still get your armor, but you dodge out of the way, but it kicks you a little bit as you dodge. And then it is your guys' turn.
enraged by being contained by the web and inspired by not wanting a bad verse written in his song, is like, you're right, I should live up to the legend. And then I run back and I charge, and I'm gonna hack and slash the queen. 11.
11. Nice. Roll your damage.
4.
You come in and you slash at that leg that tried to kick Daria. You've cut off some of its spiny hairs of a spider, but they're giant. And you pull back your blade, your cutlass covered in its ichor. What do you guys do?
I also hack and slash at that same leg that was trying to get at me.
Now's not the time to be bashful.
And I rolled a 10. So...
Nice.
Or maybe be extra bashful.
And then I rolled 8 damage.
Nice. You sever the lower portion of that leg as you swing with your big sword. And you hear it.
I'm going to shoot it. 8. So I'm going to use another ammo.
Oh, he did get wet.
That's a little better. 11 damage.
I imagine Smoky Slim is very responsible with his ammo. 11 damage. Holy shit. So you blast up again into the darkness and you blow off another one of its legs.
Yeah.
It is ragingly pissed off. It sprays again at the party. Everyone roll Defy Danger as webbing again is drenched in your direction.
Ugh!
I rolled a 4.
I rolled an 11, instinctually trying to cut through the blast of web.
Perfect. So, Smokey, you get some of it on you. You cannot move around. You can only move a short distance without having to address the stickiness, but you can still do stuff.
Gotcha.
Again, Marshall and his men are all just like a loogie to the side of the wall, just swat, all of them are stuck to the side of the cave wall. Darrio stands there, slicing through clean. The beast sees you standing in defiance, Darrio, and rears up, and you see it pull out its fangs, which are the size of, they've got to be the sizes of like a lance. They are massive. And it tries to bring these fangs down to bear upon you. Roll Defy Danger again.
I'm glad that this worked out. I rolled an 11 for strength. So I think as it comes down, I let it take the bite, but I kind of try and have it bite on just my sword or something.
Yeah, it comes down with the fangs, and you grab at the fangs and keep them from piercing into you as it presses you down, and you push up against it, maybe bracing with your sword across its face. Push it back. Then it's your guys' turn.
I try to get out of the web. 7.
You get your men out of the web so they can act, but your feet are still tied up in it. You have the limited movement tag, but you're still free to act next turn. Smoky Slim and Darrio.
100%, once I push it back, I'm going right for the hack and slash. I want to try and trigger my Sanguine Blade. The 13, and then I get to heal a 1d6. So I get 1 health back, and then I deal 4 damage.
As he's hacking and slashing, I'm also shooting it, trying to steal the kill again. 12. 11 damage again.
So you swing up with your blade and slash it across its quote-unquote face. And you feel like death's touch reach out to it and steal a little bit of its life force to you. And a moment later, from the corner, a shot rings out, blowing off another limb of the creature, and it slaps down. It is now severely hobbled, missing 3 of its limbs. But it is fucking pissed. So it ravenously attacks you, Darrio, twice with its fang, biting at you. Roll 2 to fight it.
8.
And the other one?
7.
So
Yeah.
it's biting at you, but you're getting worn down. Like, it is very strong, even injured. And one of its fangs scrape against, they don't full sink into you, but they scrape against you. And you're going to take some damage from that. You take 1 from the first attack, which your armor is. And you take 2 on the second, which I think is also your armor. Its venom squirts from the fangs and starts to seep into your open cuts and into your skin. Roll Constitution.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. So you're going to take the weak debility. You now take a -1 to anything strength related.
The weak debility. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at your gores under strength in the middle of the black bar in the middle, it says weak, and there's a little tick box and it says -1. You have that debility, so you take a -1 to anything strength related until you've addressed the debility.
Okay.
I mean, and you do know that Whitmore has antitoxins, and this is because you. That was its turn. What do you guys do? Whitmore, your men are most freed.
As I'm free, but with my limited movement, I'm gonna stand in defense and just re-up my hold. And hopefully roll a good one this time, because I've been rolling mixes, and this is my highest stat, so 9.
When I have like piercing, +1 piercing,
It goes through a
affect it?
layer of armor.
Okay.
Yeah, you should remind me of that every time you attack. We
Okay.
haven't really been fighting much armor things. You've been fighting beasts. What are you guys doing?
I think Dario is probably gonna like feel the burn from the poison. You gave me weakened, right?
Yeah.
That does not affect me.
Oh, where's that?
Because I have the unstoppable advanced move. You can never become weakened or sickened. You ignore the forceful tag.
As you
Okay.
feel the venom go through your blood, you feel death also well up inside you, and you feel it burning in your muscles, and it like burns away. It hurts, but it burns away, and you feel your strength return to you.
Hell yeah. In that case, revitalized by death, Dario goes straight for the hack and slash.
Once again, I'm going to try and steal the kill from him.
I got a 9.
Okay, so you get to trade damage. Yay. You take 6 damage from the beast as you were hacking at it. How much damage did you do?
I did 8 damage.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, you failed?
Yeah.
So
I shoot Whitmore.
Okay, roll your damage.
You got lucky.
He rolled minimum damage. Still 4.
Yeah.
So he shoots wide and breaks you in your retainers instead of the beast. You guys
Watch
can-
where you're pointing that thing, Smoky.
Drunken Marshall Whitmore stumbles into battle, gets in the way of my shot, and takes damage.
Are you raking Marshall's men with buckshot? Dario is fighting the beast and swings across its face, lopping off one of its fangs, and then brings his sword back around and sinks it through its head. And you realize you've missed the kill. So the beast falls dead on the floor of this giant spider. What do you do?
I fall down kind of on one knee and to its head, go in peace, and then I turn around and I toss Smoky the fang that I lopped off. And then I wave to Marshall and just kind of wave him through as if to say, do you care to dive further?
As you're having this beautiful death ceremony and you're having this camaraderie with Smoky Slim, I'm going to walk past you and then my men are going to gather around and we're going to try and cook the spider.
Roll to
That
cook the
tracks.
spider.
Seems like good eating. 8.
8. Some of it is okay eating. You get 3 rations out of it. But you guys build a little fire in here. This is actually the driest most of you have been for in a while. And the fire lights up the room and the heat burns off the webbing on the ceiling.
It seems we've removed most of the infestation from this cave. Perhaps it's time to venture further.
You look around this cave, and this was supposed to be the main beginning hall of the mine where resources were supposed to hold. And you start to see it glitter in the light of the cooking fire. Some stones that twinkle with a yellowish glow. One of your men walks over to it, goes to reach it, and you see a little shock of like a static electricity shock, and he pulls back.
Not all that glitters is gold.
Captain, this is probably what we're looking for.
I spend an adventuring gear and pull out a pickaxe and I whack it.
Cool. So you swing your pickaxe, and every time you hit it and it contacts the stone, there's a little arc of it. But you pick for a little bit, and you're able to get some chunks of it off. And as you pick it up, it zaps you, but if you grab a hold of it, it'll ground out. But you can see it dancing in there. A little bit of like a lightning energy.
Can I spout lore about this lightning energy that I'm feeling?
Yeah.
7.
Plane
As I'm
of
connecting with this stone, like I drop it and I say, "Yes, your majesty, right away." Oh, well, be careful with that magic there, stone. It'll zap you. And then you're zapped for eternity.
I'm gonna try and mine some. I want to make ammo out of it.
Okay. You take up the pick and hit some rocks.
11.
Nice. Okay, you get some to make ammo. You can put
Cool.
that in your inventory.
Cool. Sparky
Stone.
rocks.
And now I want to try and get some and make like a kunai out of it or something.
I think Marshall's men are like trying to harvest like enough that they can carry some back. So you could roll to take a couple swings with the pickaxe and get yourself some.
You know what? Never mind.
You're strong. Did you get a fail? You swing really hard and it cracks the rock and it releases its energy, and a bolt of lightning essentially leaps out of the rock and strikes you. And it arcs through your armor. So you don't get any armor against it. You take 5 damage, no armor. And everyone's like, oh shit. Clearly there's a lot of potential energy. So you guys gather some stone and make yourselves as comfortable as you can as you prepare to journey back to Whitmore Cove. We don't do perilous journeys on the way back anymore because it's just a waste of fucking time. So
We won. We won.
You won.
This is my
You guys
returning
won.
triumphant.
exactly. Roll returning triumphant.
This is how you make money, boys. I rolled an 11. So I got an income.
Hey.
Did you say I would come back with 1 magic lightning stone?
I'll let you come back with 2. I mean, you have enough
Okay,
people.
then
that
I'll
you
come
gather.
back with 3.
Your
So-
retainers all load up to bring back as much as they can to start figuring out what we can do. So you guys return, you make your way back. It's terrible. It's muddy and shit, but you don't get attacked by dinosaurs, so it's better. You spend a few rations and you get back to Whitmore Cove, where the trade is still bustling, and you're greeted, Whitmore, by Mr. Whitcomb, and he seems very interested in the stones and says, I will get working right away on this, sir, and see what we can make.
Be careful, don't spend too much time connected to the energy. You don't know what might contact you. Don't be afraid. Get on it. Scrub the deck, men. And I blow my whistle. You see this connection between the power, and I'm familiar with this lightning energy. And it's starting to mess with his mind a little bit. And he's just, you hear him behind closed doors. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I said we would spread the lightning, but, you know, it just takes time. It's
While you're having this conversation behind crowd doors, there's very loud cracks of lightning over here.
I'd like to get paid.
I paid you up front.
He removed it from his inventory.
You know I only pay for the best. Mr. Darrio, you have served well in the name of Captain Whitmore, and I thank ye for your service.
Dario this time sticks his hand out to shake it, and under his breath says, whatever penance you have to pay for this rain is coming for you.
What are you talking about? This is not my fault. In no way whatsoever. I was not involved, and neither were me men.
Don't forget to subscribe for more Crispy Cast. Like, leave a comment, and stay crispy.